All right. Yo, yo, yo. What is good, everybody? It is the godfather of gaming and VR, the ageless wonder, your boy Lincoln Clay, coming back at you with another video. In this one, I want to talk about the man who is dearest to my heart, none other than Mr. Phil Spencer. So, um, as some of you know, Asgard's Wrath just released a few days ago. And it is by far the biggest VR title that I have ever downloaded. The game itself is almost 130 gigs, but they compressed some of that file, so the actual download size was 77 gigs, I believe. So when I first saw that the file was going to be close to 130 gigs, I needed to free up some space on my PC because I think I only had about 170 gigs left on my PC, which was more than enough to download Asgard's Wrath. But I'm one of those people that believe that you still want to leave a little bit of space on a computer, because I'm under the impression that once you fill a computer all the way up, it may start to behave funny. So I like to leave the computer a little bit of breathing room. So I needed to free up some space, and my computer has a 1 terabyte hard drive, which doesn't sound like much, but when you have games like Gears of War 4, that I believe was over 100 gigs, you had Gears 5 to 75 gigs, then you have Asgard's Wrath, that's 130 gigs. That's over 30% of your hard drive used up. And my PC also has I believe it has a 250 gig SSD, but a lot of that space is going to get used up for to run a lot of programs to keep the computer running smoothly. So I started deleting games, a lot of free to play games, since I didn't pay anything for them. And I started deleting other games that I haven't played in a while. And I deleted I deleted Gears 4 because now that my son has a PC, he has a PC and an Xbox One X. So plus with Gears 5 being a new game, I figured he wasn't interested in Gears 4 anymore, especially when he thought the campaign wasn't that good for Gears 4. So that was all the more reason for me to go ahead and download it. So that was able to free up, I don't know, all that stuff. I think I was able to free up probably about 200 gigs. And so this morning, I wake up and on drive C, which is the SSD, there was only 18 gigs left. And then on drive D, which is the SATA drive, there was about 50 gigs left. So the meter was in the red on both of those drives, meaning both of them were just about full. And I'm like, what in the world happened? And my son told me he re-downloaded Gears 4. So I told him, don't do that again without letting me know. So I go into the computer to find those games so I can delete them. Both of the Gears 4 and Gears 5. And I couldn't find them. So I started doing searches on the computer. My first thought was, okay, maybe they got downloaded on the C drive from the SSD, and then at some point I might have moved them over to the D drive, to the SATA drive, but didn't remember doing it. So I go to the D drive and I type in Gears 5 into the search. And the only thing that was coming up was really small, irrelevant files that was only 15 kilobytes stuff for the cover art, just a ton of irrelevant files, but not the game itself. I couldn't find it. So I go back over to the C drive, which is the SSD, and I did a search there. Same thing, a lot of irrelevant, small files, but not the game itself. But yet the game is still in the computer. So I went into separate files, folders where I thought the file might be, typed individually into those folders, and wasn't getting a match. And I'm like, this is crazy. How is it that this game is still in the computer? Both of these games are still in the computer, but I can't find them. I searched in just about every folder where I thought they could have went, and it was not there. So how I ended up finding it was, I was thinking on a crazy chance. I'm like, okay, maybe there's a folder for the graphics card, and there's an app called the GeForce Experience where you can download updates for your graphics card and stay up to date on news and all that kind of stuff. And then that GeForce Experience has a library that pulls games in there that can be optimized. And then from there, you can choose whether to fully optimize these games or not. You know, you can optimize them for performance or visuals. So Gears 5 was in there, and it showed the location. It showed C/ program files / Windows app something. So I copied that file, and then I went into the C drive, and in the search engine I pasted that file location, and it kept saying nothing came up. So I'm not understanding this. And then I go to the Microsoft store, and I go over my download history and games that are installed on my computer, and both Gears 4 and 5 were there. But there was no button to uninstall either of these games. So I'm like, this shit don't make any sense. How is it that these games are in the computer, but I can't find them to uninstall them? So finally, I Googled it, that I could not delete these files from my computer. I Googled it, and sure enough, there was some links to forums where people were talking about they couldn't download Gears 4. They couldn't delete Gears 4 or Gears 5 from their computers, and it was in the exact same folder where I found mine at, or the folder that I can't get to. C drive, program files, window app. Those forums said the same thing, that that those files were there, and they couldn't get to them to delete them. So it turns out you have to start up something. You have to go start, right click, and then do a bunch of other shit. And then when you get to the folder, somehow you have to take ownership of the folder, because you're not supposed to have access to it, I believe. So you have to go through some procedures to take ownership of this file so you can get in there to delete them. Why the fuck would Microsoft have these games downloaded into a folder that you're not supposed to have access to? What is the point of making me keep a game? What is the point of making me have a game on my computer and not give me access to delete the fucking game? I mean, are they hard up to try to keep you tied up into this game, that they trying to lock you out of your own fucking computer? So anyway, I got to do this ownership bullshit. I haven't done it yet, but I'm definitely going to do it tonight or tomorrow. Go into these folders, take ownership of them so I can delete that shit. But the forum, the comments that I saw in this forum specifically said that you had to be careful not to delete the entire folder, otherwise some of the other apps on the computer may not function properly. That you have to go in there, Oh, my computer went, my screen went blank for a second from being idle. It specifically said that you had to go in there and find those specific files to delete them. So that is some bullshit. What do you have to gain by sending these folders to a spot where the average person isn't computer literate enough to go in there and find them? Had I not Googled this shit, I never would have been able to find it. It got to the point where I was getting ready to take my computer to the Geek Squad tomorrow and have them get it out of there. So I am pissed off. This man that you see right here with the horns coming out of his head, he is the devil walking the earth. So this is a rare rant video that you'll get out of me, but I'm pretty hot. My computer is just about full. There's some more VR games coming up that I want to get hold of. Stormland is one of them. Aspire 1 is another one. Those are PC VR games. And PC VR games come out a mile a minute. And these games can be anywhere, usually they're anywhere from 1 to 10 gigs. So with me only having actually I was able to free up some space on the D drive. So I was able to free up enough that I have 118 gigs left on that one. But Gears 4 and 5, those went into the folder that I'm talking about where I don't have access to them, where I can't get to them. Those were on the solid state drive, which is only 250 gigs. So you have two games that's taking up almost 200 gigs of space on my solid state drive. So I am pissed. So I'm going to get that shit out of there, never to be put in the computer again. Oh, after that, I told my son, do not download any more Microsoft games into that PC without telling me first. I don't know how much stuff he downloads on his computer, but chances are he's going to be faced with this problem too when his computer fills up and he needs to free up some space. So I do have an extended hard drive, but it works weird on my computer. It doesn't seem to be showing up as another drive. You know, you got your C drive for the solid state drive, the D drive for the SATA drive, the E drive for the disk drive. So you would think that this external drive would show up as drive F, but no drive is showing up at all. The computer knows it's there, but it's not showing up as a drive F. It's not showing up as a folder where I can put things into that folder. So now I got to figure out how to move games over into that external hard drive. So a little bit of bullshit that I got to go through here. But first things first is to get where we at. To get that man's bullshit out of my computer. So that's the first order of business. So that is my rant for the day. It's time to go play some Asgard's Wrath or something on the PC. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And be wary of this man here with these red horns protruding from his skull. He is the epitome of corporate evil. So, alright y'all, I'm out of here. I'll holler at y'all later. Deuces.